Ugh, taxes. We all hate them, but we all gotta do them. And if you are like me and you added some crypto to your investment portfolio this year, you might be dreading tax season even more than usual. Crypto taxes can get complicated fast, which is why you'll save yourself a huge headache and hours of frustration if you get the right crypto tax software to help you wrangle all of your crypto wallets, exchanges, transactions, and everything you need in order to file your taxes properly. What is up, guys? My name is Brie, and in this video, I'm sharing my honest review of the Koinly crypto tax software. So I'm sharing the pros, the cons, and whether or not you should use this crypto tax software to file your crypto taxes this year. Let's get into it. So first, obviously, you have to go and sign up for an account, and you can do that over at Koinly.io. Koinly has different pricing options depending on how complicated your crypto situation is, so pick whichever one works for your situation. When you are signing up, you'll set your country and your currency. Now, Koinly is available in 20 plus different countries, so check out if it works for you in your country before you get started, but they do support a lot of different places. If you want to come along and do the process as I do in this video, then you can use my link in the description below to sign up for Koinly and get started. The process is actually quite simple within Koinly, and there's 3 major steps we're gonna go through to do your crypto taxes with Koinly. And the first step is to connect your wallets and your exchanges. Koinly is going to need all of these connections to wherever your crypto happens to be, so it can pull all those transactions to determine what your taxable events are and how much you'll owe in taxes on those gains. All right, so once you log into Koinly, you'll see that there's the 3 steps outlined here. I'm gonna click over to the wallet tab, and this is where you're gonna be adding any of your wallets. So you can click to add wallets and simply choose to connect each of the ones that you use. Now, if there's any of the ones you use that aren't showing up here, you can simply type in the search and find it that way. Now, depending on which wallet or exchange you're connecting, you might have 1 or 2 options for connecting them. So if I click here for Kraken, you can see that the options are to set up auto sync or to import from file. So you're going to be going through each of your wallets, each of the exchanges you use, and connecting them either of these ways. So to set up auto sync, you're normally going to be clicking that and going over into the exchange or the wallet app and finding the API key that you need, taking that and pasting it into Koinly so that it can connect automatically. And then Koinly is going to import all of your transactions from that wallet or exchange into Koinly. But not all of the exchanges have this option. Some will only allow you to import a file, in which case you go log into your exchange or wallet, find the option for downloading your transaction history or your tax reports. It'll be different for each one. Download that, and then you'll come in here, drag and drop to upload that file into Koinly, and this will do the same thing. This will upload all of your transactions from that wallet or exchange into Koinly so we can figure out your taxes. But once you have added all your wallets, you can see I've got quite a few different wallets and exchanges that I've used. They all show up here. It'll show you all your coins and how many transactions you've done with each one. Once all of these are set up and we go over to the transactions tab, all of your transactions are going to start showing up here for each exchange and wallet that you import. Now, Koinly does a couple of things after you import your different wallets and exchanges. It will import all of those transactions and determine the market price when you bought or sold. And it will also attempt to match transfers between your own wallets and exchanges. And it'll do that so then it can calculate the capital gains or losses that you might owe. Step number 2 is to review your transactions. So once you've connected all of your wallets and exchanges, Koinly is going to see all of the crypto transactions you made within the year. So what you need to do is to go through those transactions and make sure they all line up, that it all makes sense, because Koinly is not perfect in this regard. It doesn't necessarily get every transaction right. So you're gonna have to double check and make sure everything is classified properly. It is important to make sure you have not forgotten any of your wallets or exchanges, because if you do, and say you transferred some Bitcoin from one wallet to another one, if Koinly doesn't see that other wallet, it's going to classify that transfer as you having sold or spent that crypto, which means you'll be taxed on any of those gains. But if it was actually just a transfer to another wallet, you don't get taxed on that. So you need to make sure all of these things are right, or you're going to be paying taxes on stuff that you really shouldn't be. Now, if I click on one of these, here's a deposit from ShakePay. It is, 26 cents worth of Bitcoin that I earned for shaking my phone. It's a nice little feature they have. You can do that every day and earn just a little bit. So that is classified as a deposit, and that is correct. But if there are transactions that you need to edit and change, say this was not a deposit, this was some other kind of transaction, transaction, I can go over here to edit and I can change that transaction type. So if say this was a transfer from another wallet, I can label that as a transfer, trade, income, airdrop. There's a whole bunch of different options here so you can label your transaction properly. But what you're gonna wanna do at this stage is to go through all of your transactions, make sure that they are correct. You can sort these if you want to do these wallet by wallet. Say I wanted to do all of my ShakePay transactions, I can do all of those and then go through each one. And then if I want to do all my Newton transactions, I can do that and go through until I have all of those transactions. I've double checked them all and I know that they are correct. And I have to be honest here, in which checking my transaction was the most time consuming and confusing part of the process. Now, my crypto situation is not that complicated. I haven't actually sold any crypto in 2021, but I have moved some money around between exchanges. I've tried out some stuff with DeFi, and this made the situation definitely a bit confusing for me as someone who is doing this for the first time. But what did help me understand and finally figure this all out was to get really clear on the 4 types of transactions that Koinly will classify your crypto transactions as. So let me explain. So the first type of transaction in Koinly are deposits. Now, deposits happen whenever you bought coins, received an airdrop, mined coins, earned interest, or earned payouts for staking. Now, by default, Koinly treats all deposits as investments or purchases at the fair market price. And you can also flag your deposits as income if it is income you've been paid for, say, a job. The second type of transactions within Koinly are withdrawals, which might also be labeled as a send transaction. Now, withdrawals happen whenever you send crypto out of an exchange or a wallet to do things like purchase products or pay for services, send as a gift to a friend, donating to causes, and this is also what stolen or lost coins are classified as. Now, by default, withdrawals are counted as payments to a third party. It counts as you spending that money, and a profit or a loss will be calculated on that amount. So you don't necessarily get taxed because you're spending your Bitcoin, but because the difference between that Bitcoin when you bought it and when you were spending it, that difference will be counted as either a loss or a profit depending on what the price has done. And that is what you're being taxed on. However, a few of these transactions are not taxed, such as when you are donating, sending a gift, or when you have lost or stolen coins. All of these you can tag within Koinly to make sure you don't get taxed on those transactions. The third type of transaction is a trade. A trade happens anytime you buy crypto with fiat, you sell your crypto for fiat, or whenever you're trading between different cryptos. So say I trade some Bitcoin for Ethereum, that's a trade. If you are buying crypto, that is not taxed. If you are selling crypto, that is taxed. And if you are trading between different cryptos, that can be taxed or not taxed depending on which country you're in. I am here in Canada, and here, whenever you trade one crypto for another, it's considered as if you had sold that first crypto and then bought the second. So you would be taxed on that here, but does depend on what country you're located in. And the fourth type of transaction is a transfer. This is what happens when you move crypto between different places, but it is still in your own possession. So if I move some crypto off of an exchange to my wallet, or from my wallet to an exchange, or from one wallet to another, those are all transfers and these are not taxed. However, a lot of times when you are moving crypto between different wallets and exchanges, you do have to pay a transaction fee, aka mining fees or gas fees. Now, these fees normally are taxable, so you will likely pay a small amount on the gas fees you pay to move that crypto around. So don't be surprised if you see some small profit and loss calculations based on those transactions. So now that you're clear on the different types of transactions within Koinly, you can go and look through all of your transactions and make sure they are all classified correctly. Now, this can be time consuming, but it is definitely worth doing because Koinly does not get everything right, and you want to make sure you don't have a huge tax bill because Koinly has not classified, say, transfers between your wallets properly. So those are the important things to be looking out for at this stage. So how good is Koinly at classifying those transactions correctly? And the answer is it really depends on where you are pulling that data from. Remember, in the first step, we connected all of our wallets and exchanges, and those are all third parties that organize their transaction data a little bit differently. So I found this very variable. So for example, for me, the transaction data that came in from Newton, which is a Canadian exchange I use for most of my trading, it was very well formatted and everything was correct. But an integration reason that didn't work as smoothly was I have a Polygon wallet with MetaMask, and I've been using that wallet to experiment a little bit, putting money into DeFi, into lending platforms like Aave, which generates all sorts of weird little transactions for that process. So this was all very confusing. It was very messy. That's not exactly Koinly's fault or MetaMask's fault or anybody's fault, really. It's just the reality of the situation right now with the technology that is so new and with governments that don't really know what to do with it. But in my personal experience, the biggest thing that I had to correct was I had a few transactions that were labeled as a deposit and a withdrawal when they really should have been a transfer. I had to go in and manually fix this because I knew I was transferring crypto from, say, a wallet or an exchange to another wallet. And the way that Koinly had initially classified it, I would have been taxed on that, but it was just a transfer. It was still my crypto. So I needed to label those as transfers to make sure I did not get taxed. But once you get through this phase, then it is smooth sailing and we're on to the third and final step, which is to get your tax reports. So let's go over to the tax report tab, and you can choose here which year you want this for. I'm doing this for 2021. Immediately it shows you a summary of all of the taxes you might be owing. So it breaks this down into capital gains and losses, other gains, income, costs and expenses, gifts, donations, and lost coins. But you obviously need more than this to submit your taxes. So what you need to do is to go down and scroll down here to pick a report type. Now what you choose here is going to depend on which country you're in. For me here in Canada, I want the Schedule 3, and I can go and download report, and that's going to generate that report for me. I simply use this when I am filing my taxes, include that, and I'm good to go. Koinly generates those reports for you, and you basically go submit that when you are doing your taxes. So what is the verdict? Should you use Koinly or should you not? Overall, doing your crypto taxes is not a fun process. It is very time consuming, and there can be a shit ton of transactions you have to account for if you have done any amount of trading. Now, my situation was pretty simple, but I still generated several hundred transactions throughout the year. And using Koinly did make that process 100 times easier than it would have been if I tried to do this all manually myself. If I had tried to sort through all of my transactions in like an Excel document, I don't think I would have gotten it done. It just would have been chaotic. You're still going to spend probably a couple of hours sorting through your transactions and making sure everything is classified properly. But this is totally necessary because if you don't, you're likely going to get taxed on things that you shouldn't. And avoiding reporting your crypto on your taxes is just a huge no-no. You don't want to get in trouble with the law for not reporting this stuff. I'll definitely be using Koinly again in the future, but what do you think? Do you think you'll be giving it a try, or do you have a better idea for how to handle your crypto taxes? I've included a link below so you can get started right away if you've decided to give them a try. But otherwise, if you want to learn more about the crypto space, if you want to become more confident doing things like buying and selling crypto, getting into DeFi, getting into NFTs, earning passive income on your crypto, then I have something that's going to help you. Check out my Skillshare course, the Crypto Basics Bootcamp. This is a super short but actionable course that's going to get you up to speed on all things crypto, how to get comfortable with the tech so you can become a confident investor ASAP. Now, Skillshare is technically a paid platform, but if you sign up using the link in the description below, you'll get a free 30-day trial in which you can go through my entire course, as well as gaining access to all of the other courses on the Skillshare platform. But that is it for this video, guys. So I just want to thank you for watching. I truly, truly appreciate all of your support. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share it with a friend who could also benefit from watching one of these videos. Did I miss talking about something in this video? If I did, drop me a comment below and we can discuss. But otherwise, if you're ready to continue on down the crypto rabbit hole, check out one of these videos next, and I will see you guys next time.